Hey guys, it's Dream Big with Danielle. I have the special honor of having Hugo Gonzalez with JMJ Financial to sit with me today and talk about what's trending in the market. So Hugo, can you tell viewers that are listening what's trending in the market right now, like as far as rates and loans?
It's a great question. Rates right now, we're quoting about 3.5% on an FHA loan. That would be with, anything with having a FICO about 680 or higher. Mm-hmm. On the conventional side, we're about 4%. So it all depends on the client's qualifications, FICO score, and so forth. So rates are very good right now, and I think if you're really thinking about buying and you're on the fence, take advantage of the low rates right now.
Okay, perfect. And let's say for viewers out there who might not know anything about real estate, can you explain what FHA and conventional loans are?
Yes, FHA is government backed. So it does carry what we call mortgage insurance to insure in case of default. A conventional loan is basically money that's private money that's generated towards Fannie or Freddie Mac, non-government.
Okay, good. And is there any type of assistance that you do with like first-time home buyers, or do you have any programs that you work?
Yes, we have two that I use a lot of. One is through Cal FHA, just state-funded program. First-time buyer. There are some income limitations and restrictions with debt to income, but that's one. The second one is a grant program, which is free money. You don't have to pay back.
Okay.
The rate is
like that.
the rate is a little higher, but again, free money.
Okay, perfect. And what kind of advice would you give to maybe real estate agents who are working with buyers right now, and maybe the buyers are kind of like skeptical or they're not sure? What can you tell agents to maybe help motivate the buyers?
I think the biggest thing that I would recommend an agent is definitely get them pre-approved. You don't want to put them in a car if they're not pre-approved, and then let them go through the whole process. There's a difference between being pre-qualified and being pre-approved. Pre-approved does entail gathering all the documentation, running credit, sometimes ordering a verification of employment. So before you put them in a car, I would say get them approved.
Okay. So can you maybe go over those two differences? I know you touched on it a little bit with pre-approved, but what is the difference between pre-approved and pre-qualified?
Pre-qualified is like you picking up the phone, calling and giving information. I make X, my credit is X, with no verification. So you're basically going off the client's word.
Okay.
And typically what happens is most of the time, the way we analyze tax returns are different. So people think that they make a certain amount of money. In reality, for qualifying, it looks different. So pre-qualification is just a phone call and gathering basic information. Pre-approval is actually verifying that information that they're giving you, running it through an automated system, whether it's DU or LP. So pre-approval is very solid. And if everything is accurately inputted to the system, then you should have no fallout on escrow. Okay,
perfect. And what is the pre-approval process like? How long does it take? Like, what's your, experience in terms of like how many days, or what does that look like?
Assuming the client gives us all the documents that we request, we can do it the same day or 24 hours at the latest.
And that's like the most perfect,
right.
buyer. But what's kind of something that you've seen in your experience?
The the challenge for us is actually getting all the information.
Okay.
All the documentation that we need, getting a full application, getting all that accurate stuff. That way we can make a judgment and issue out a pre-approval. So the getting the client to commit and give us all the stuff is the challenge.
Okay. All right. So you viewers out there, the challenge is to getting all the stuff. So Hugo, now is your chance to let them know what kind of documents are you usually asking for, buyers. So that way maybe, they can kind of have like a heads up in case, some of our viewers are looking to buy. What documentations, might they need to get prepared?
We ask for 2 years tax returns. So right now we're asking for 2016-15, a month worth of pay stubs.
Okay.
2 months of bank statements, assets. We've got 401k, any IRAs, any stocks. So we need 2 months.
Okay.
And it's really important to get all pages. A copy of the driver's license and a month worth of pay stubs. Okay. Unless you're self-employed, then we go based off the tax returns.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So all this documentation, obviously it's really hard to get in one day, I guess, for some people.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So now you guys have it. Those are some of the documentations that, Hugo will need in case you want to go with him. But, okay. So that's good. Thank you for sharing that with us. What kind of advice can you give to buyers? Because I know I asked you what kind of advice can you give to agents, but what kind of advice can you give to buyers out there who are looking to buy?
I think I would say the same thing. Just get pre-approved. A lot of buyers have the misconception that you need 20% down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily need 20% down to buy a home.
Mm-hmm.
And then also through that process of getting them pre-approved, we find out what's in your credit. If you haven't ran your credit, the normal buyer doesn't run their credit, on a monthly. And I wouldn't advise for you to run it monthly, but they don't check it as periodically. And even if you monitor it through some of the agencies, Credit Karma,
Mm-hmm.
some of the credit card companies have their own monitoring system.
Okay.
When it comes to FICO, we find out that it's not very accurate.
Okay.
So going through the process, even if you're not ready to buy today,
Mm-hmm.
is always good to find out we could catch any of the stuff that's going to hold us up, catch it now. That way we could address it before you get into escrow.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And some of your clients that you've worked with, what can you say that you've helped them, or what are some experiences that you had where maybe they come back to you, or maybe you've offered them help, or what are some incentives that can keep your clients coming back and working with you?
We could offer covering closing costs.
Okay.
That's one. Two, obviously the first time buyer programs is a big one.
Yeah.
There's another one thing called MCC. It's called the Mortgage Credit Certificate.
Okay.
That typically gives my buyers about another $15,000 to $20,000 more buying power.
Wow.
That a lot of lenders aren't out there. A lot of lenders don't do.
Okay.
I think the advantage with us too is that we could send the file to the underwriter and get an approval pretty quick and make a decision, especially if you're on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had situations where a client comes in, they got pre-approved by another lender for, $400,000, and the agent's saying, well, I need to get them to 420. What can we do?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll slap the MCC on there. We'll do what we got to do. Maybe give them pay off this credit card or pay off this.
Okay.
So those are some of the tips we give. I like to do a full consultation.
Yeah.
And give them all their options.
Okay, perfect. And what do you see trending in the market, maybe in towards the end of the year, maybe into next year, for buyers?
I think rates right now is the biggest question. Mm-hmm. I don't have that crystal ball. If I did, I'd be in a good position. But
right.
I think right now taking advantage of the rates is going to be the key.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where rates will. There's a lot of talk. Everybody has an opinion. Rates going up, staying the same. But I would say, again, if you're really thinking, take it. Money's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So that if you want to borrow it now, you get it at a discount.
Okay, good. And is there any maybe last minute tips that you can, share with our viewers, whether they're real estate agents, maybe have no idea what's going on in the market, or looking to buy?
Tips, I would say, again, do your homework, get all the documentation even ready, because a lot of people are scrambling last minute. That's what holds things up.
Yeah.
Also, another one is when we do file taxes, it takes time for us to verify with the IRS to get back the results.
Okay.
So the sooner you could get all that stuff and do your due diligence up front, it becomes easier.
Mm-hmm.
Also, look up your lender online.
Okay.
Yelp is a great source. Ask around. Referral is always great.
Mm-hmm.
But do your due diligence when you're looking at who you want to work with. As far as the realtor, I would stress the number one thing is get them pre-approved.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want to waste your time going in circles and showing people property that they may not qualify for.
Exactly. And right now you actually just mentioned something. So why would you have or give advice to look up lenders or check out their reviews on Yelp? What's the advantage of that for viewers?
I've witnessed, and through other agents mentioning a lot of things that go wrong, whether they're in escrow and that lender doesn't do the pre-approval process, mm-hmm. and they're in the middle of escrow. Everybody's got emotional ties to the property.
Right.
You've got money invested, time, and things fall out of escrow.
Okay.
That's one. A second one would be Also, that they're still going on bait and switch.
Mm-hmm.
You've got people that quote you a rate, and then you go to the signing table and it's different.
Oh, okay. And that's a huge deal, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that looking them up to see that they're legitimate, just like any other industry, is very important.
Okay, perfect. And if our viewers are interested in finding out more information or want to do a consultation with you, or I just have more questions about what's going on or how they can work with you, how can they reach you?
You can look me up on the internet. I'm pretty much in a lot of space in the internet, or we're here locally in Seal Beach. We're at the old ranch building here in Seal Beach, or you could call me on my cell phone, 562-882-8846, or Danielle could refer you over as well.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Hugo. I really appreciate you sitting down with me and giving very useful information to our people that are viewing out there. So
You're very welcome.
Thank you. All right. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you next week, or you'll actually see me. So bye.